Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So I thought I'll do something quite different in this video. I've been struggling to find time to make long form videos. If you have been following me on my Instagram channel, you will see that I'm posting short form videos regularly. I kind of developed the discipline to a point where I'm able to do it on a regular basis. So I thought I'll try the same for long form as well, and I think one of the ways to kind of accomplish that is to basically record a bit more casually than formally. So let us see how it goes. So one of the projects that I'm really interested in working on these days is basically vision transformers. I think a week or two back, I basically stumbled upon this repo called dots.mocr or dots.ocr. Essentially, that's a very small model, a small AI model made after or basically derived from the Qwen generation of models. It's a 3 billion parameter model, and it did an amazing job of parsing text from PDFs or also images. So that got me inspired. I tried the model out. I basically sent or passed an image of my kid's handwriting, and it actually did a very good job. It was able to recognize 6 out of the 7 answers that my kid had written, which I thought was very impressive, and then found that the overall vision transformers itself is a very interesting piece. Now, in order for someone to understand vision transformers, they really need to understand attention mechanism to the point where you're able to implement it and actually see it in action. And that is kind of what I wanted to do. So the idea would be to first understand attention, and then once you do that, the concept of multi-head attention becomes, I think, straightforward. In the side track, what you also need to understand is how can images be sent into a transformer, into the transformer architecture, which is how are they encoded, and how do you encode image pixels along with text so that you're able to do both, which is send text and then get an image, or send an image and get the text descriptions. I think this overall seems to be very, very ambitious, but my idea is to basically just at least figure out a few parts of it, if that makes sense. And all of that starts with making a good cup of black coffee. My coffee recipe is super simple. Please don't judge me for it. So this is basically filter coffee, and then I'm just going to boil water in that machine and basically mix it. In general, what I like to do is on the right hand side, it's not zooming in properly, I basically have my papers. And this is where I try to read them for like 40 to 45 minutes, after which my brain just gets fried. So here, these are the 3 papers, right? Attention is all you need. I think here, the aim is not just to read through it, but also implement this architecture. This would be the second paper, which is visual instruction tuning. Very, very interesting, because look at this. This is basically where you're providing additional context as part of the training, and also provide different types of responses. And if you look at the context, it seems to have data annotation as well. So here you can see that you basically annotate saying that, hey, these pixels refer to this, so on and so forth. Overall, with this approach, the architecture can learn all of these features quite easily. So on the left hand side, I have Claude Code open, and my setup is very simple. Read something here. If you don't understand, go back to Claude Code and then basically ask questions. So here, one of the key things that I'm basically wondering about is, can you actually just replace softmax in attention with a linear scale of probability? And I'm still not very sure about the answer. I do understand it like theoretically, but I just wanted to, I was very curious to see how that actually affects the final learning ability of the model. The reason why this setup works for me is when you're reading a dense paper, there are so many things that you don't know. And the best way to basically go about this is read something once, the second time read it out loud. That actually helps me a lot. And then the third time, try to take small pieces of it and then either implement it or write it down using a piece of pen and paper. And that's basically it. And this is how a typical reading session looks like. Okay, so the time is right now what? 1:36 p.m. So 2.5 hours of just going through 3 papers. I did take a 30 to 40 minute break in the middle, so I guess that was okay. But yeah, overall this is very, very taxing, and having Claude Code, especially with Opus 4.6 in the side, is actually very, very helpful. I'm not sure if you guys have tried the latest Claude Code 4.6 or 4.7, sorry. It really pushes you back. Man, it asks a lot of tough questions. I think 4.6 in general did not do much of that. It is almost like having a very strict teacher. At this point, I'm fairly convinced that a model like 4.7 is good enough for taking you through till your 12th grade. I think the only problem to solve for is motivation. Like I said, I literally spent 2 to 2.5 hours going through the instructions that it provided in the terminal, and I'm almost ready to give up. But I think overall, The process was very rewarding without going into too much of technicality. I was able to piece together most pieces of vision transformers, which typically, like I said, the information for building that comes from 3 other papers. One definite thing that I would recommend to all of you if you're trying something very similar but say in a different domain is to actually have an AI assistant in the side. There are a lot of things that typically papers don't talk about because they just assume that you know it. But it could be because of multiple reasons. Maybe it's just, if you are in my bucket, you would have studied probability concepts like several years back, potentially decades. As a result, a lot of that would be choppy. If you just have an AI assistant on the side, you can actually ask really sharp questions and get your questions clarified. I think previously, before say ChatGPT even existed, I think the way for people to do this was to go through Wikipedia or YouTube or ask someone. In the first couple of options, what generally happens is you go through a rabbit hole of links, right? Be it Wikipedia or YouTube, you never get the answer, and most likely you get overwhelmed. I think that is one of the blessings of all these modern AI tools. The second thing is asking people, right? I think one of the really nice things that a lot of people don't talk about is AI doesn't judge you. You can ask really stupid questions. It doesn't judge you at all, right? So yeah, so basically what I'm going to do now is maybe have lunch and then get back at this. Right now, the first task that I'm going to be doing is start implementing a couple of algorithms that I just studied. I don't want to bore you into the details. I mean, not sure if there is something that you want to see, just let me know in the comments if you really want to see the coding implementation as well. But yeah, I'll take a pause here and then I'll give you guys an update again.